Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a Sunday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. Hope everybody is doing great. Mr. James Thornton, how are you doing, sir?
I am Peachy King, buddy. How are you?
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm doing all right. I can't complain. Today was a beautiful day here in Kentucky. It wasn't raining, it wasn't too hot. I was able to drive around with my windows rolled down, which in Kentucky, if you don't like the weather long enough, you wait 5 minutes and it will change. But today was actually a beautiful day, man. I tell you what, I loved it. So we don't have a guest today. So today's just going to be me and James. We're going to sit on here and we're going to just chit chat. If you're out there in chat and you want to come on and just chit chat with us, say so in comments and put your email address and I'll send you a link. That way you can come on here and just chit chat with us and we'll have a good time. I didn't schedule a guest for tonight for the simple fact that today was uh, my nephew's baptism at Shelby Christian Church, and then my sister-in-law, it was her birthday as well today. So yeah, I didn't schedule a guest tonight, so we're just going to be sitting here chit chatting, talking about upcoming events, and going that route. And then we got Mr. So Veteran Hundo Club. That's James. That's the one I was talking to you just about just a little bit ago. That's the guy, Christopher Raymond Castro. Uh, is the Veteran Hundo Club, and they're a relatively new veteran service organization that launched earlier in the year, and the program that they're putting together, man, is it blows my mind at the reach that they've already accumulated in the short period of time. And so yeah, I'm excited to partner with them and figure out some other stuff, man. I tell you what, it's going to be a super cool thing. I got them coming up on a podcast episode. Not this month, maybe not next month. I think it might be in May, maybe. I don't remember. I'm booked out to May, so I'm already booking May events and stuff. And right now we just got to get we got me and you, we got some big events coming up this year, and um super excited about uh the concert that's coming up in November 9th. It's gained a lot of traction. We're still trying to lock down our headliner for the concert. We got a guy in mind. I'm going to actually go see him next week. I'm getting ready to go see him next week, and I'm working on getting some venues here in Kentucky, that will bring him in, and then have some stuff with our and then have our concert on November 9th. And then we're also trying to get him here in July for the Vietnam traveling wall with the Cost of Freedom tribute as the closer for Saturday night. Um, so we're looking for some venues around that same time frame that he can come in and play. And I've had several people reach out to me and say, "Hey, um, try this venue, or try this venue, or try this venue." So we're definitely working on that. So, and then James, you've been super busy writing an itinerary for the wall, which that event itself is going to be very humbling. And then it's also going to be, yeah. So there's the itinerary.
Yeah, we just need to
There's a
fill in the
lot.
blanks now.
What?
I said we just need to fill in the blanks now.
Yeah, so that's gonna be, I'll tell you, the traveling wall and the Cost of Freedom tribute is gonna be, oh man, it's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see if I still have it in here, James. Yeah, I do. Matter of fact, look at that. I must
Dun,
have been
dun,
prepared.
dun.
I must have been prepared or something, James, since we're
So
talking about it.
yeah, now the traveling Vietnam Wall up there, the first column, 140 panels. That equals 360 feet. That has all 58,300 names on it. And then the Cost of Freedom tribute that you see there on the flyer, that's the Afghanistan, Iraq, 911, 1945, 1975, 1979 to 89, all that stuff. Iran hostage, El Salvador, Desert Storms, Desert Shield, Somalia. I mean, it's got everything on it. So altogether, when that is completely set up, there's over 70,000 names on that field at one time.
Man. Yeah, that's crazy, bro, and that itself is gonna be very, very humbling, just for the simple fact that, man, yeah, let me remove it, so that way, yeah, so I went to DC, and I went to the wall in DC, and that there itself was very, very humbling. And then I went to Arlington, and to the National Cemetery there, and as we were walking around just by ourselves, we didn't take a guided tour or anything, and you walk around and you see these names of soldiers and Marines and Air Force, the ones that are cemented in history, not uh, man, yeah, and talk about just how humbling it is to be somewhere where, they paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah,
And, it's just like, holy cow, bro. Um, yeah, I mean, if you don't get teary-eyed when you're there, even at the wall, just seeing the list of names on the wall itself, and and then you're like, I wonder how old this person was. I wonder where they were from, and because I love history. History is one of my things, and going there and seeing these names that are on the wall, and man, man, very, very humbling, and
it
and
is.
like I
And
said, huh?
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. If you don't get teary eyed, something's wrong with you. You have no heart, especially if you're a veteran, or if you're a mom or dad of a soldier, and they're over in Iraq or Afghanistan right now. Your son, your daughter could be eventually on that wall one day. The Cost of Freedom wall, or the tribute, whatever you want to call it, the Cost of Freedom tribute wall. One of these days, they could be a name on that wall, and the reason why uh, the wall is there, the purpose of that wall is so we never forget. And
Absolutely.
as long as people say their name, then that person will never be forgotten. Never.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I live in Mount Washington, Kentucky, and my neighbor next door, she's one of the troop leaders for the Girl Scouts. And in Mount Washington, there is a Veterans Memorial, and I've lived here for 14 plus years in the city of Mount Washington. Now, my
Yeah.
granddad lived here for 40 plus years. I mean, he lived here before I was born, and so I'm 45. So he lived here for 45 plus years. And I never knew there was a veterans memorial in the city of Mount Washington. I knew that there was the graveyard up by the police station that's has a veterans section that has flags and stuff in there, but I never knew there was a veterans memorial in the city of Mount Washington. What's up, Big Al?
What up,
So
Al?
I'm what's that?
I just said, what's up, Al?
So yeah, I didn't know that there was a veterans memorial in town. So when she first told me and I asked her where it was, she said, well, it's up by City Hall. So I went up there and I started looking around and I was like, I had to call her back. I was like, hey Sarah, where is the Veterans Memorial? And she said, well, if you go up to City Hall in between the two buildings, there's some stone, like a stone in the ground and a flagpole that's got the American flag, the state flag, and the city of Mount Washington flag. And I was like, that's a veterans memorial. And I walked up there and got closer, and then on the ground, but it's probably about 3 foot tall. There's a stone monument, like a gravestone, kind of sort of, that's got the branches across the top, and it's this memorial was, yeah. And I was like, holy cow, that's a veterans memorial? No way, because there was no flags representing veterans other than this the insignia of each branch on the front of the stone that was carved into the stone, which was pretty
Yeah.
cool. But so she asked me, she said, "Give me some ideas of some things that would make this better for a veterans memorial." And I was like, "Well, you need a flagpole for each branch of service. So you need Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Air Force, and Space Force. Even though we don't call Space Force a branch, but you need one for each branch, and then you need the American flag with the POW flag underneath of it, with the American flag being the tallest flagpole, and everybody lower, all the military branches lower than that one. What's up, Rick Ames?
Can you hear me?
So yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me better?
I mean, it's about the same.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Girl Scouts are actually in the process of they're doing their meeting. They got a meeting tomorrow on Monday. They're going to go over some layout design and stuff because I just literally got back again from having a meeting with the two troop leaders, and they're going to talk it over with everybody, and then they got to have a meeting with the city to get approval of what they their ideals of what they want to do to this veterans
Yeah.
memorial, and then they're going to rededicate it once they're done. And I'm so proud to say that the Girl Scouts have stepped up to do this project. um,
Absolutely.
it's amazing, and the girls get to learn. That's the good thing about it. They get to learn about veterans and military branches and stuff like that.
I'm gonna take
So
that away from them.
I
What
think
I
it's.
need,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what I need you to do is reach out to that lady, give her my contact information, because I'm trying to find all the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts in the county
Okay.
to donate their time to work on the wall. What they'll be doing is when folks come in and, like, let's just use my name. We're looking for James Thornton from Kentucky. We'll
Hmm.
we'll show them how to read the book and then tell them exactly where on the wall it's at, and then they'll walk those individuals up to the wall to show them where the name is.
Yeah, I will reach out to her as soon as we get off of here, if not tomorrow. Um, so I'll do that as soon as we get off here. Did that not? I guess it did. Oh, there it goes. Big Al, Rick, you guys want to jump on? We're just on here shooting the shit. If y'all want to jump on, I can send you guys a link. Uh, Tonight we don't have a guest. And I explained earlier in the broadcast here that The reason I didn't, my nephew got baptized, and then plus it was my sister-in-law's birthday, so I didn't schedule a guest for tonight. But so yeah, we got some major things coming up. We got a concert coming up November 9th. We got a pretty good lineup for that. Mr. Rick Ames he's the promoter with the band. He's got a pretty good lineup. We're working on a few other things band wise. We're and like I said, the wife and I will be heading to Houston. Rick says he's chilling in his pajamas. The wife and I will be heading to Houston come Tuesday. I'm excited about that. I get to meet. So the cool thing about going to Houston, so Ty Cobb, Matt Johnson, Scott Blake, all from Triple Threat Vets live in Houston. Mr. Albert Hero, he will be coming to Houston on Thursday. We're leaving on Friday, so I get to meet Al. I get to meet Ty. I get to meet Matt. I get to meet Scott, and then plus we get to go see Bubba Wesley in concert, which I'm super excited about
Hell yeah.
because he's the guy that we're trying to get in here to be a headliner. He is country rock. James, he's got a song that says, I can't get you off my mind while you're sitting on my face. Dude,
That's good.
yes. So I'm super excited, man. I'll tell you, he's very humble guy, and I'm super excited to see him in person, and then I'm super excited. Um, Rick Ames, listen, Rick Ames. You, you know what, Rick Ames, I love you, brother. You just sit there in your PJs.
He's probably
Uh,
not in his PJs. He probably forgot to do his hair.
I mean, that's probably you're probably right. He probably did forget to do his hair. So Rick Ames and my buddy Bill Rawson, they're starting a podcast called Distorted Static. That podcast is going to focus on music, uh, not just veterans and music, but music in general from local bands and bands from all across the country. They're going to focus on that. And then Rick Ames, being a veteran, Marine Corps veteran, Navy veteran, he's going to start his own podcast as well. And I'm going to be behind the scenes helping him on that. And it's going to be called Mind, War, and Music. And I created him a logo for that. And he gave me an idea and a thought process that he was going through. So we found an image of a soldier that was holding a M4. It was pointed down to the ground, and then he wanted, like the mind on the image, and then he had an image of a music scroll that looked like a black hole, and the image that we came up with that I created for him was, man, I think it fits. I don't know if you've seen that image or not.
I
Um,
don't think I have.
it is pretty badass. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Oh, it's on Facebook. Okay, let's see. Let's close this out.
Hey, I got an
Uh,
idea for a podcast.
oh yeah.
Hmm.
What do you got? What do you got in mind?
I say the mayor of Mount Washington and the mayor of Shepherdsville, and we discuss how we're working together in order to get this wall in.
That would be an. Um, are you
Interesting.
want? Well, are you wanting to do that as a? Hold on, let me go in here. There we go. Um, let's see. Yeah, that would be a pretty cool episode to talk about that. Yeah, if we can get the mayor and uh,
Well, I have a
it,
meeting with both in 10 days. I might just bring that up.
yeah. All right, so I know you can see that.
I
Let's see.
can.
Let me see if I can zoom in on it here without distorting it too much.
That's pretty badass, actually.
So here's the image. Here's the image, man. I tell you, and so you got the brain here, you got the soldier, and then you got the music coming out of the barrel of the gun, scrolling up to the brain, and then if you notice the swirl behind the soldier and the black hole. Uh, I thought it was, when he gave me some ideals, and I kind of, was like, man, I don't know how that would look. And then I saw that and I was like, oh, bro, that is badass.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so yeah, no, man, it's super cool, and uh, I'm dude, I'm just excited about the community of veterans um, the veteran podcasters that have come on board and indulge in my ideals of, like the tip of the spear podcast that we do once a month. You got Triple Threat Vets, you got Misfit Nation, you got I Am Pitch, you got the Decision Hour, you got the Oath We Took podcast, you got Conversations with the Vet, and the group that we're building there with these veteran podcasters is, uh, I mean, it's miraculous. I
Yeah.
mean,
Tell me who to send a check to. I'd like to get in on that.
well, you already kind of involved, because you're my buddy, and um,
Oh, you're my buddy too.
so you're kind of involved in that already, and we're still working. Each podcast or each episode's getting better each time that we do it, and we got this group message where the five of us, the main five. Of course, in that main five, a couple people don't text very often, but it's still like, it's a democracy. So what we do is we vote. We vote on this or we vote on that, and it's pretty cool, man. I really love it, and I think what we got is something short of amazing, to a certain extent, and um, yeah. So Rick here says, don't forget, we were setting a world record for veteran podcasters broadcasting in one location at the concert in November. You are correct. So Mr. Rick Ames decided to reach out to Guinness Book of World Records and look and see how many veteran podcasters had broadcasted live for one location. Well, there wasn't one. So he put an application in for them to come to our event or something. I don't know how that's going to work. But they're going to come out and they're going to check us out, man. We're going to bring in, Triple Threat Vets is coming in, Misfit Nation's coming in. I'm going to be there. Distorted Static's going to be there. And he's got a list of other veteran podcasters that's going to be there as well. So,
It's going to be pretty
uh,
awesome.
yeah, it's going to be pretty freaking badass, man. And then, what what the city's doing, we got the Parks and Rec. Um, they're up there. What the hell, bro? Why can I hear myself? That wasn't supposed to happen. Uh, let's see. Here, come on. Yeah, it ain't working right. I'm trying to get this over here uh pulled up so I can watch comments as they come in, but it's been a little pain in the butt at the moment. Uh, but no, man, it's I'm super excited about the future of veteran service organizations in Bullitt County working together,
Absolutely.
because for the longest time, veteran service organizations didn't want to work together. They
They
were
shied
all
away
about,
from each other.
yeah, they shied away from each other. They're like, well, don't take my veteran. He's my veteran. No, everybody, I'm nobody's veteran. I'm my own veteran. And if you're not helping me, I'm going to go somewhere else that might better suit my needs at the time. And um, I don't really talk a whole lot about what I got going on in my personal life. It's just not something that I do. You know what I'm saying? Um, and my wife's like, well, babe, you might want to, tell people some of the things that have gone on in your life and how resilient you have been. And I will tell you, the last 8 months have been pretty rough on me. My dad passed away back in August. Um, and that was hard. I mean, very hard because you've heard me say it before, and other people have heard me say it that my dad was not always there when I was growing up. He would come and go. He was a truck driver over the road. He'd be gone months on time, months on months, months and months, and then sometimes years.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have me and him didn't really have a great relationship um, until I was, out of high school and in the Marine Corps. And then after the Marine Corps, me and him developed a really close relationship. And at one point, I was the only child of his that was still talking to him. And my older sister and my younger sister that are my dad's children, um, didn't speak to my dad for a really long time. And I was the one that was always there. And when, all that stuff was going down, I was like, bro, y'all need to make up with dad. And I would tell dad the same thing. Hey, you need to make up with your children because one of these days you're not going to be here and you're going to miss out on your great grandkids because my oldest nephew has great he's got kids, so they're my great niece and great nephew. And uh I told my dad, I said, you're going to miss out on that relationship because you're so stubborn, pig-headed, and it's all on you. You have to make the first step.
You're
um
absolutely right.
and he did eventually make the step. And unfortunately, when he made the step, it was right when, so he was supposed to get new lungs. Um, so my dad had pulmonary fibrosis, which is hereditary. It's hereditary. So I have to do my process of making sure I don't have that disease because if I do, I need to catch it early enough now so that way I can, if I do have it, I can get on the list to get new lungs because that's the only cure for pulmonary fibrosis is to get new lungs. And my uncle Dennis just recently passed from that as well, not too long, but not too far before my dad did. So it's definitely hereditary. And uh it's one of those things. It's like it scared the shit out of me, because my uncle died from pulmonary fibrosis. Then my dad turned around and got it. Well, he got on the transplant list, and the day that he got the call for his lungs, he went in there and they did a chest X-ray and found some spots on his lungs or in that lung area. And they're like, oh, well, we got to hold up on the lung transplant. We're gonna open him up and do a biopsy and see what he has. Well, unfortunately, he had cancer cells on his lymph nodes. Um, and they're like, "What do we do?" Because they can't give him lungs because he's got cancer. You got to be cancer free for 5 years before you get new lungs, or any kind of transplant. You got to be cancer free. And um, well, they put him back together, and when he woke up and he was lucid and understood what was going on, um, they're like, "Well, your option is cancer and or chemo treatment and radiation." Well, with him having bad lungs, he couldn't do chemo or radiation because it would have killed him pretty much right away. And to treat for the pulmonary fibrosis, he needed new lungs. Couldn't get new lungs because he's got cancer. So it was a lose lose situation. And we were like, Dad, we can aggressively try to treat the pulmonary fibrosis, but that's just going to prolong. It's going to prolong the inevitable. And he goes, I understand that. Um, and we couldn't treat it for the cancer. They just because they were like, well, it's gonna wind up hurting him, even more. So they gave him about 6 months to live. Um, and he didn't last maybe a month, if that. And I tell you, both my sisters were there. They were amazing. Uh, they did reconnect with my dad, previous, not far before he passed, but they did reconnect, and they mended fences, and um, which was amazing to see. And yeah, it's hard to talk about. I don't really talk about my personal life very often because I am, to a sense, a private kind of guy. To a sense, I am, especially when it's
Know
my
a lot.
personal.
I know a lot about you.
You do, because personal. I don't broadcast it. You're in my inner circle. Like Rick is in my inner circle, Matt, and Ty, Al, and they're still learning, because we're just now building that relationship with those guys. But uh, we clicked pretty quickly with those guys, and those guys they still don't know half the stuff that because I see you not on a daily basis, but I see you face to face more often than not. Um, and I still need to get that Pioneer News thing from you. I think I keep forgetting to get it from you every time we talk. But so yeah, man, I tell you. So you got some good news to share too.
Which part?
You just bought a house.
Well, my offer was accepted. We have a inspection tomorrow, and if
Nice.
the inspection goes well, then the VA appraiser will come out. So we're about halfway there. But the best news isn't about my house. Best news is I got engaged.
Yeah, and you just got engaged.
Yeah,
You need to borrow some monies, some
I
money.
do. That ring was a
So
little expensive.
that ring was a little expensive. It was a nice ring, man.
Well, thank
Uh,
you.
you're welcome. And I'm excited too, because I spent $7 on this little piece and got it overnighted so I could have my second monitor back up. So if anybody knows, I've been doing my show on a 55-inch screen that I got mounted on the wall right here in front of me. And then when I go to share screens, I had to minimize what I'm doing here, open up another window, share screen. Then I can't see the people that I'm talking with and interacting with. So I've been trying to find the piece that I needed to get my second monitor, which is right here, back up and running, because I needed something. And
Yeah, well, she got a
luckily,
ring. She got a ring. I got a new toy.
ooh, what is that? Is that a
It's a
357?
it is a 357.
Nice. Is it a Smith& and Wesson?
No, it's a Taurus tracker.
Ooh, nice, nice. I
That's
love
the
it.
only revolver I own.
The only
Well,
revolver you
let me
own,
take it
okay.
back. I lied. I own the Judge.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
it's a revolver.
okay. So if you're out there in Facebook world watching the show right now, leave a comment, say hi. Um, Jealous to see much Raymond. I don't know who Raymond is. Who's
Neither. I didn't
Raymond?
see anything.
I didn't see anything from Raymond. Uh, But yeah, if you're out there in Facebook world, say hi. Hey, there's JR. What's up, JR? JR is one of my buddies. He's been on a few podcast episodes with me. Uh, I am Raymond. Okay, I am Raymond. That's right. Yep, Christopher. Yep, Christopher. Yep. Uh,
And
but
Herbert, yeah, that's that. The Judge is a 410, 410 45 long coat.
no. Uh, what's that noise? There's my aunt Sherry.
Hi, Aunt
So
Sherry.
So my family always calls me Davy. That's what they call me, Davy. Only my family can get away with calling me Davy. Only my family. Um, because most of the time I'm Willis to everybody out there. Uh, but yeah, so no, we've been talking. There's been a lot of my personal life. I do kind of keep it private, but uh, Rick Ames, if I love you too, Aunt Sherry. Um, If you tell them at work, Rick Ames, me and you're gonna have a fight, bro. I don't care if it's you're 6'7". Me and you're gonna fight, Rick Ames.
Hey, you see the guard dog move into position, right?
Yep, Charlie's back there, moved into position. So I'm excited about some of the partnerships coming up. So with Got Your Six culture, same flag, same oath. I have a branded shirt, co-branded shirt that's going to be coming out with Got Your Six. It's going to say, "Hey, what's up, Rat Man?" It's going to
Yup.
say it's going to say "Marine It Down" on the front, written in red crown. It's going to have over here on this sleeve, it's going to have the HomeFront Sitrep logo. On this side, it's going to have the same flag, same oath logo. On the back, it's going to have the Got Your Six logo. That shirt will be coming soon. It will be up live on their website. Now, the good thing about that shirt, you go in and buy that shirt, and at the end of the year, a, a percentage of that is coming back to Homefront Sitrep. We're going to turn around and we're going to donate that money to a veteran service organization. That money I'm not going to keep for myself. Uh, I'll get a check, and then I'm gonna turn around and turn that check over to either Warrior Rounds, Active Heroes, Dogs Helping Heroes, whichever. What I'm going to do is there's that thing online you can put veteran service organizations in a wheel, and you spin it, and then it picks who it goes to. Um, so that's what we're going to do. Then we got the concert coming up November 9th. $10 pre-sale. So if you buy tickets early, it's going to be $10 pre-sale. Closer to the event, it's going to be $20 per ticket. And that money will be going to Camp Hero, Kentucky, which is ran by my buddy Rocco and his wife Lauren. Amazing piece of property in McNee, Kentucky. They do great things for veterans and veterans families. So they do children youth hunts up there. They do all kinds of amazing things at Camp Hero, Kentucky. So you can go to Google, type in Camp Hero, Kentucky, and see what they're doing up there. They're doing amazing things. Um, the November, or the September, or July, with the Shepherdsville Traveling Wall and the Cost of Freedom tribute, that doesn't cost a dime. If you want to come see the wall, um, if you want to come see the wall, come see the wall. If you're a family member of somebody who has died and paid the ultimate sacrifice, come to the wall. You could stay there all 5 days if you want to. Um, so yeah, come visit the wall. And yes, Rick, you are correct. We do have for the concert in November. We do have corporate sponsors available. I do have a couple people lined up for that already. I think I'm just waiting on approval from the higher ups. Um, Carl Truman Law Offices might be a corporate sponsor. North Point Bank, which is Jesse Cronin, uh, they might be on board. Vendome Copper Distilleries, they make copper steels for distilleries and stuff. Vendome is interested in being a corporate sponsor. So yeah, we got some amazing things lined up. And the good thing is we have a tiered program, so you can do $100 donation, and that will allow your company name to be on a small yard sign. You know, the yard signs. You can put your logo and stuff on a yard sign. We'll put it in front of the stage or somewhere around the stage. And then the next tier up is $1,000. That will get you a yard sign as well. Get you 10, five or I think maybe five wristbands, and then the next level is 1,500. It gets you a banner up on stage, gets you 15 wristbands and designated seating area, and then we have the next one, which is $2,000. That will actually get your name on all the material going forward, like promoting that you're the main sponsor. Then you also get preferred seating, you get 20 wristbands, and you also get to be able to meet and greet the bands behind the scenes with catered food. So that for two people. So that's going to be super cool. We got that lined out, and that's going to be cool. We're going to have food trucks there. We're working on veteran-owned food trucks, veteran vendors that would be able to come set up shop, and then we're going to have uh, veteran service organizations as well come up, set up a tent, and if you're a veteran, you come to the concert, you can go over and see what they're doing for veterans. So that's pretty cool, man. I tell you, Rick Ames, this is his third year. This is my second year helping Rick do this, and it's to help veterans and first responders. It's to bring awareness for veteran suicide and first responder suicide. So.
Am
Uh,
I supposed to be at that one?
Yes, you will be there. I don't know why you
And
wouldn't be. I don't know why you wouldn't be.
I know I'm too pretty. I'm too pretty not to be in public.
You are. And somebody says, "Well, I won't set up to sell stuff." And I'm like, "No, we want you to sell. That's what we want you to do. We want you to sell your merchandise, um, because it helps get your information out there, and it also allows you to make money as well. Because we're all about in the spirit of cooperation and extending that hand where everybody works together and everybody does what we need to do to help veterans and continue our mission in helping veterans. Um, so yeah, if you hear my dogs barking, I don't know why they're barking, but yeah. So Ratman, you want to jump on Ratman? I'll send you a link and you can jump on and chit chat with us, Ratman. You ain't been on in a while. I don't. Has Ratman ever been on?
I don't think so.
Ratman, if you want to jump on, send me put your email in there, and I'll send you a link to jump on, Ratman. If you're still here, I think you might still be here. There's 7 people watching at the present moment in time. Yeah, if Ratman, if you're still there, man, jump on. Send me your email. Put it in there. If you're out there in Facebook world and you're watching, or on YouTube, if you want to jump on, put your email in the comments, and I will send you an invite and have you jump on and say hi, bye, whatever. We can sit here and just chit chat, and that's what we're doing right now, man. We're just
Burning daylight.
burning daylight. Says I'm still here, but I don't know how to work this damn phone. Old people in technology, rap man. Woo,
It's rough.
it's rough, bruh, rough.
It's rough.
But no, man. So yeah, James, you got engaged. Do you want? All right, hold on, Mister Christopher. Uh, invite Gmail. Let's see if I remember. Nope. No. All right. Which all right. Which email do you want to go to, Mr. Raymond? Which email? Rick Ames. I love you, bro. I really do love you. But whoever fed your mind that you are much better looking and younger looking, they're yanking your leg, brother. I promise. Uh, let me see. I know I got your email. Mr. Christopher Raymond. I
So
know I
we're
got.
gonna, while you're doing that, we're gonna start booking um, where I go out and talk to organizations, groups, and stuff like that soon for this year.
Oh, I know which one. You're doing what?
We're gonna start booking where I go out and talk to groups and organizations and stuff this year.
You should. You should. You should. Uh, support at.
You can't hear me crunching, can you?
Nope.
Good. These banana chips are the bomb.
So there we go. Let's see. But you said banana chips?
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, Mr. Raymond, I sent you a link at support@hundoclub.net. That's where you should be getting your link at. So Christopher Raymond here, he's got the Veteran Hundo Club. Um, the man, like I said, him and his partner lives in UK in the United Kingdom, and the process behind what they got going on um, is super cool, man. I tell you what, um, I was excited when I got to talk to him and chit chat with him, and yeah, I'm super cool what they got going on, man. But if you're out there in Facebook world, YouTube land, LinkedIn, leave a message, man. Say hi, how you doing? Because I'd love to chit chat with you guys and interact. Now we did just celebrate our 1 year. Our 1 year was February 28th. Um, we did the tip of the spear that night, and yeah, it was pretty freaking awesome, man. Um, as you can tell, I got a happy birthday thing here. Candace got me all kinds of crowns because I'm a Marine. She had to get me some crowns. And if people actually understood where that reference came from, um, they would laugh because it actually started in a sorority house. I forget where at, but it actually originated in a sorority house. So, and if you can only imagine, the females. What's going on, sir? How are you?
Hey, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Let me shut off one of these. There we go. I got double music playing. I got you guys playing in the background and playing on
Nice.
YouTube. So, yeah.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself since you're new to the show. We just recently talked, me and your partner, and we talked recently, and I'm excited to have you guys on an episode and talk about what you guys are doing. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Christopher Raymond. I was born in upstate New York in mountains over there, and I think they call them woodchucks, as some people call them. Is that correct? Is that the right
I
terminology
believe
on that?
so. I believe so.
Yeah, so I grew up there and I moved down to Brooklyn, New York. I lived in a dysfunctional family all my life. I'm not shy to share about these things because this is actually why I'm going to get to the point of why I created what I created um, in a little bit. So I've bounced around from family to family, shelter to shelter, home to home. Um, and eventually I lived with my stepfather, Bruce Ivers Susser in Brooklyn, New York. It was actually stable at that point, and I was able to go to university, school. Uh, there was no more booze and drinking within the family, and a complete just mess, right? And I tell you that at that experience, you're like, okay, what can I do to really feel like I'm at home, and I never felt like that really until I actually said, you know what, I'm going to join the military. At least that'll give me a home, it'll give me structure, give me stability, give me a place like that. And I was wrong about it. So yeah, I felt like a little bit of like that was actually the best way to go. So I ran three businesses before, just to backtrack a little bit. Um, uh, uh, and I got a 3.8 GPA throughout universities and stuff. Um, and I had three carpet cleaning company, a pressure washing company, and an auto detailing company. I was doing easy $250,000 a year at like 20 years old. Like I was pretty ambitious of me. I mean, if you could make money off spraying water, you pretty much know what you're doing, right? So that's how I came about.
Right.
I mean, so I've always had my heart in business, and my stepfather was a real guru and he was a Jewish person. His mother was Hasidic Jew, And I just loved hanging out with him and learning the business. So I put on it real quick. I put United States Veteran Command because not because I'm a rebranding or something, but I realized the organization is going to be much bigger than I've ever thought it could be, and it's going to be massive, and there's going to be implications. So I'll get to that one if you guys want to know about that later. But so I felt like okay. So when I got that camaraderie, right, I got out of the military, and I was like, okay, I'm still missing that family, right? So you know what? Since I started this, literally, I got a family of people that are literally coming out and taking care of each other day in and day out, and they're begging me, please let us off the leash. Let us off the leash. Let me help other veterans with the process you're doing. It's a full holistic view. Like we're onboarding. Trying to onboard some religious services, and so all the proceeds go to the religious services. I'm just the funnel. It just happens to be the way. It's like I don't want it. I just want to solve this societal problem. So a little bit more about myself. I like big trucks, and I was like jealous much just because I saw that nice, pretty firearm you had there. I was like, "You jealous much, Raymond?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm jealous." So I'm currently in South America. That's where I'm staying and living. It's warm, and food is cheap. Gas and electric is pretty cheap, So, and I'm looking to come back to the States when I gotta come back to the States. And at this rate, it seems like I'm gonna have to come back to the States.
Yeah, you probably are. At the rate that you guys are growing, you probably are going to have to come back to the States.
Yeah.
So
you
just have to find somewhere centrally located.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know. Maybe like it also has to be like because there's like a dual function for Hundo, right? It's got to have there's two aspects. So we got the nonprofit that I'm looking to do, the 501, right? Which is like anybody looking for help who's like like no food, no shelter, and everybody votes towards the money's going there. Okay, so that's where the money's going to go for that. But that way we're tax free on that. But anything else, because there's other systems. So when the problem is, like for example, I'm going to draw out why the company was made this way. Okay, and the reason it's for profit on this side is there's less red tape. Okay, so I could work around, not work like illegally around the law. It's just I'm not bound by other certain laws and jurisdictions. So I'm able to do a little bit more than I can if I'm a .org. I have to follow a rule book this big. Nah, I'm good. That'll stick specifically for what I need it for. So I know business inside and out. It's kind of like my thing. So you got any more questions about myself? Like you're at a
So what branch of service was you? Did you say that already?
Yeah, I was I was an army guy. I don't know if that was the right decision at first. At first, I walked into the Air Force and I said, I don't like airplanes either, and I don't like boats.
Right.
So let me go on the ground. Let me just be a ground pounder. It's kind of like that's how my decision process was made on that one.
Right. Now, how long were you in the military?
About 6 years. I think it came out to 6 years, give or take. So my situation is actually in the military, and I got like sworn letters up the wazoo. They actually tried to fire me basically. Yeah. They discharged me. They tried to discharge me, and I took it up all the way to the Pentagon. I was like, no, I'm not getting.
What were they trying to discharge you for?
Well, misconduct for drinking and driving, right? So I overdosed on sleeping medications, which I was prescribed, and I ended up drinking and sleepwalking, right?
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't. I was like, whatever. I didn't know. And then I was going through my father passed away at the time, so I was just like, let me take off 30 days, and they were like, nope. I was like, let me take off 60 days. I got 90 or 100 days of leave. I was like, give me these 60 days. They're like, nope. They were just there was people killing themselves left and right on active duty and 7/20/28 MP Battalion. So literally, I was in the unit and a guy hung himself in his barracks room, like it's like completely insanity unit. But that's something else. That's
Yeah,
their problem.
that's yeah. It's going a little deep and dark on that. I mean, yeah, we all know we all know that people in the military sometimes they do deal with the struggles, the demons that they're dealing with, and unfortunately, they become one of the 22 a day, and
Yeah.
um and like you said, a lot of people do self medicate with alcohol. I mean, you were going through a really hard time, and your dad passed away, and then you started, you were already prescribed sleeping medicine, and then you added alcohol on top of that, which could wind up killing you. And
Right,
um,
exactly. So in this situation, like for me, like all my rank, like I had more candy on me than a 10-year guy in a major rank. So like, and I was a specialist and a sergeant, So it was like, come on. I had a sergeant major, first sergeant. Literally, I had her walk out of a boardroom because she didn't know what she was talking about.
oh man, okay,
That's like so I was on point, but when I'm off point, I'm off point. So anyhow, they had me go to ranges and things like that, like with medical profile of suicidal ideation and shoot firearms and like completely off the wall stuff. So I reported them. I said I'm doing an IG complaint. This unit is off
okay,
the wall. So then they try to protect themselves and they try to get rid of me as quick as possible. So then I opened a congressional inquiry. It's like,
oh man,
oh yeah, I mean, sure. I had like the Pentagon say this guy was discharged illegally.
oh dang.
Yeah, I'm not joking. I'll send you that later.
Yeah,
But
you have
it's
to send that to me so I can look at that, because I've never seen it go up to the point where the Pentagon got involved. I've seen IGs, and then I've seen higher level IGs get involved, but never all the way up to the Pentagon. And um, so yeah, let's talk about a little bit about Hundo, um, what you guys got. So you guys are relatively new. You just launched back at the beginning of the year, and what you're trying to do with Hundo is build a network of different people, different personalities, different professions, um, because of your story, because you were denied your disability to a certain extent, where it was like, this is not right. And what you were trying to do with Hundo is get to a point where you knew the not really technically loopholes, but you knew the ins and outs, and you're able to teach and help veterans get the disability the disability rating that they deserve, or um, going forward. And then you got a business partner that has a coach that has been in the business for 50 plus years, um,
exactly.
with Mr. Finch, if I remember correctly, is his name.
Yes, sir.
Um, and he's originally from France. He lives in the United Kingdom now, and he, when I was talking to him, he was very well versed in a little bit of everything. And you guys are focusing right now on veterans that are in America. And like
Right.
he was stating, with our meet and greet that we did, um, eventually you guys want to be global. Eventually, is the plan, and you
It's
want to.
not even, yeah, it's not even we want to. It's going to happen because we see the problem. It's even worse with NATO allies. So we have
Yes,
a budget of $811 billion, right? And they can't solve the problem. You
right,
think somebody with $27 billion military budget or government budgets does? Definitely not. And I know because I lived in Europe for 6 years. I lived
yeah,
in South America. I know the entire. I haven't lived on the Asian Peninsula, but I definitely know it doesn't get any better.
right,
So it's a problem that we're willing to accept and hopefully transfer over to the next presidencies and the next VPs and say, please take this over.
right.
Uh, so yeah, it's not even we want to. It's just that the problem exists and we know we can solve it. We have a solution to the problem. There's always a problem. There's always a solution, right? It's
Right.
finding that line and saying how can we provide that? How,
Yeah,
who's going to
and
take
and
charge of that? Yeah.
and you said something during that, or maybe Mr. Finch did that. uh, you want to collaborate with other veteran service organizations. You don't want to reinvent the wheel that's already there. So what you want to do is bring in professionals that have been in the realm of a nonprofit, or a veteran that's been in the realm of dealing with PTS. Whether it be a clinical technician or a therapist, or anything like that. So
Right.
what you want to do is you want to build a Rolodex of these personnels, and you're going to break it down via rank structure within, which we'll get more in depth and more in detail with this when you and Mr. Finch come on my podcast, whatever
Well,
date we got that scheduled for. I
yeah,
forget.
when I was listening, I was actually developing your collaboration page, so it's totally cool.
Nice.
So
No,
it's really coming out, man. It's really coming out sweet.
so
But
I'm super excited to see how you guys are going to grow. I know this idea of Hundo's been around in your brain for a while now, and it's now coming to fruition. And you guys did it right, where you did all your research beforehand, before you launched the nonprofit, and you were looking at other organizations, how they succeeded, how they failed, and then you took that into what you guys wanted to do, and you're taking the best parts and putting it together. And I think that's what's making you guys. You just launched in January, and you've already got, like, I don't know, 15 to 200,000, or 15 to 2,000 likes on your Facebook page and on your page. And I think what people are seeing, what you guys are trying to accomplish, I think people are drawn to that. Um, and I think um, you're only going up and up and up. And I think what you guys, and you and Mr. Finch, you seem very humble, and you want to make sure you're helping veterans and not leave anybody behind. I think that was something Mr. Finch said.
that's great.
He
So
don't want to leave anybody behind. And
I'm right. So would you have it on spot on? You have it spot on. One second, please.
but yeah, so now what these guys are doing is amazing. So
Yes, you had it spot on. So we literally are trying to incorporate all the most essential aspects to the five pyramids of a person, right? The characteristics: spiritual, social, economical, right? You have those: physical, mental health, physical health,
right,
family, all that good stuff, right? There's very few organizations that can hit all five. We found a formula, or actually, Mr. Finch created it with my idea. Um, because he's just a bad scientist. I mean, after 50 years of business exponential coaching, you can figure some of these things out and make it work, right? So, I mean, again, we're still in the sandbox though, but we're looking to incorporate those, and it's working. It's working hands down. Literally, I had a meeting today at the weekend, because we do a weekly meeting just to get a touch out to the members, and what we're working on, the next projects, and have a think tank, because it's a democratic society, just like you guys have your democratic society with your podcast, right? And you were
right.
talking, right? So like the same kind of concept. I love that. I love that. So it's all about what they're voting. We literally have a system to vote. And since you both are veterans, like, I'll drop that link to show you, like, okay, you guys want to vote, you can vote, like, on any topic. We literally, and there's a heavy topic that we're talking about. Um, is that no one left behind, right? So if you look at it statistically, there's 6% that are left behind. You got 5% that are dishonorably discharged, right? And other organizations won't touch them. You got DAV, you got foreign wars, you got all. Then none of them are going to touch them.
Right.
Honorable or general honorable, right? So, and we're like, wait a minute, there's a social problem here. There is a social problem. The first thing is, do these individuals were mandated or conscripted into service, or by feudal lords or anything like that, right? No, the answer is no, right? They
Right.
volunteered, they raised their hand. So that to me right there says enough, that person said, I'm willing to die for my country. Okay. So that's one of the, and this is based on, not on just us, and we're going to take our time with this vote on the community side, because I mean, obviously, we're not going to condone murder. We're not going to condone treason. We're not going to condone sexual assault and rape. We're not going to, those type of things. But just because the military branded you that way doesn't
Right.
mean that you should fall into society and then fall on your knees and be what's called on a criminal justice system is actually called a revolving door. Okay, so the revolving door system is basically that you're gonna come out as the prison, right? Which these people are fed all day. You're told what to do. You don't know. You eat shit and sleep wherever they tell you to, right? So it's a
Right.
prison mentality. I'm saying the military is a very honorable thing, but it's a lot of similarities here, right? Uh,
Definitely.
Hold on with me with this one. So, with the idea is that okay, they get dropped off right into the realm of the world, and there's this on an airdrop type concept, right? And then where do you go? You go mom and pop. Now that's somebody who's honorable. Now somebody who's got something else going on or other than honorable because they decided to do cocaine or something at 19 years old. Do you think they can even pay their own rent most of the time? No.
No.
So they make a stupid decision. Okay, you're going to penalize their entire life. Okay, we're thinking about picking that up, and I full-heartedly believe in that personally. But again, we run on a democratic system, so I mean, I can veto everybody, um, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to start that already.
Right.
And
Definitely.
so it's that fine line of saying, um, how are we going to do that? And it's these are things that we got to iron out. But on a holistic point of view, our system's working. And literally, like I said, this afternoon we had a financial advisor from one of the top organizations literally come to us and say, "Hey, I'm on board." Her husband was a 21 year a veteran in the armed forces. So I was like, "Listen, normally right now the program is not this family support. We don't have that implemented yet, and that's in our phase book. That's in our diagram of what needs to be launched. So first, we take care of the veteran structure, get that all done. Take care of the active duty structure, get that all done, and then move on to the family support. Right? That's just the United States. So it's a very ambitious goal, and it's not unreachable. And people are falling in line. And the reason why we couldn't say, okay, we want one person, we want one person because for the family support, so we can start to begin to get a feel of that interaction of
Right.
not being together, right, but parallel to each other. Because again, there's like you're talking, we have disabilities. You saw me twitching a bunch of times, right? So that's because I have a neurological disorder from active duty. That's why I didn't get my disability rating. We'll get back to that in a minute. But
We'll get to that on the
yeah,
episode when we have you on online. So how long before you launched the program, before you launched Hondo, were you and Mr. Finch developing the ideals and stuff like that before you even launched the program? How long?
so we're looking actually this month to up our server because the server we're running on is a cloud business server. It's still very fast, it's extremely fast, but it's not fast enough. So we're looking to partner with Amazon and AWS. They have the fastest CPU processors on the planet. So
Right. But
we
no,
can't.
I'm talking about the ideal of Hundo.
Right. So
How,
when is it going to look in launch? Right. So
no,
there's a
no, 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 no. When you first thought of the ideal of Hundo, how long ago was that? Like
oh
when you first thought of the ideal,
when the first exact moment. Okay.
or how
Was
long ago was it 6 months ago? Was it 3 years ago? How long have you been developing Hundo? Is what I'm trying to get at.
approximately 5 years.
So
Over a
you've
little
been
over
working on it for 5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
over five
that's
years of just mental fortitude and then saying, okay, this is what I need to learn. I need to learn coding. Okay, I need to learn this. I need to learn this law. I need to learn this. It was just preparation, 95% preparation.
nice, nice. I love
This
it.
this
No, I love it.
that was it. It was literally 5 years or almost 7 years actually of just preparation, just
You know,
preparation.
No, I love that. And a lot of a lot of veteran service organizations, man, they jump right into it. They create a 501c C3, and they're like, all right, this is what we're doing. And a lot of people um, they'll start a veteran service organization, and then all of a sudden it fails because they don't know. They get in over their heads, um,
Absolutely.
and a lot of them, James up there will tell you, uh, nowhere in their mission statement does it say anything about making money, because if you're a 501c3 and you're all about making money, then you're not doing it for the right reason. And then, like James will tell you, if he senses greed, he's going to take his toys and he's going to go home.
Every
And
time.
I'm the same way because, yes, I understand, and James understands that you got to fundraise so you can take care of your veterans or the veterans. But if you're raising funds to pay your paycheck, then you're not doing it for the right reason. And
That's what that's what I
what I
love
like
you
about
guys. That's why I love you guys. That's why I'm doing this whole. Oh man, I love this guy. If I was a recruiter, I would literally I want to recruit you.
and then what you're doing at Hundo, so you did it kind of smart. So you got a business mindset, right? So you created a nonprofit, but you also in turn created an LLC where your LLC can make money and then in turn take that money from the LLC and put it into the 501c3. That way you don't really have to go out and fundraise and have business partners or partners with the 501c3 that says, hey, we got to do it this way. So you take money from the LLC, you bring it over to the 501c3, which then you can turn around and spend that money in taking care of veterans. You're making money from the LLC to pay you because you're one of this is your job, your business.
No, I'm not even. There's not even a salary for us. So if you
Well,
think of
for the 501c3, there's no salary, right?
no, on top of Hundo.
Oh, so the LLC, you're not got a salary either.
Nope. So this is
Okay,
how
so
it works. Okay, so so this is fine line right now with what's going on in Congress, right? About veterans with the sharks and veteran foreign wars. I believe they got this on 100% spot on with the VA claim. So that's what I assist with, right? The shark
okay,
system. I help veterans with the education part of it. I'm not, of course, and that's also another aspect is we're trying to house the law firm, which we have. We're partnering with extreme law firms, almost 900 of them. And we're looking to partner with the veteran service officers internationally and nationally. So don't worry, there's systems in place. We're already designed that. But so the reason I don't need a salary is because the money I make, all my blood, sweat, and tears to say, hey, thank you, Chris. No, give the rest back. All I want is my ad money. That is it. That's all I want. I want literally from Google paying me and Apple and the big dogs. I don't want anybody else to give me anything. So
okay,
this is like 100% selfless service with this one. It's like, okay, that is it.
awesome. No, I love it.
So me as creators, it's like, okay, so that's even another level to say all the money that's generated through the memberships, through the because there is operational cost, right? If I'm
Right.
bringing you have to break bread, right? You have to break if I bring in a therapist or a bunch of therapists or whatever medical, right? They got to eat too, so you got
Yeah.
to make sure they get paid. So how's that fund? Okay, we're looking at the membership tier groups for that. So okay, you get the legal service, you get you get the business coaching for free, you get all this everything we can get for free, we're gonna give it for free.
No,
That's
that's
the
awesome.
goal. So and again, it's self educating. So once we bring up that individual from the ranks that we're using, again E1 to E4, some officers might get upset about that. Oh, I came out as a colonel. It's like, yeah, but you don't know nothing about business, colonel.
Right, right,
Right.
right.
So this is our game. This is our game that we play. You played your game that a war hero, which I'm sure was dang good, but I'm sure you don't know how to be a businessman, right? So
Yeah.
that's what. So we have to weed out what your problem is in your business or whatever you want to do in life, and then get you on, and then you can say, okay, I can give back to the society, right?
Yeah.
So that's really what the whole process is. It's way different. I'm not. There's no grade. There's not even check. It's
Yeah.
literally like Donald Trump just said. I don't need it. It's the same
No,
thing.
I love it. Now that just so when the LLC is making money, all that money goes straight into to the 501c3. So you're not taking a paycheck from that. The only thing that you're getting a paycheck from is the business ads that you're running through Google, Facebook, and anywhere that you can get money from Google or from ads. No, that's awesome because there's a lot of the bigger name 501c3s out there. They have people. Yes, granted, the bigger 501c3s they. Uh, that's their job is taking care of veterans. But when they're out there making $250,000 a year from the company, to why would you need that much of a salary? You know, that's what I don't understand. I mean, that to me that's greed, and James can attest to that. For me, right now, I make 50 something thousand a year at my job at AT&T. Uh, I don't get paid for doing the podcast. I don't. I do have a sponsor. He does pay me, $50 a month to run his Louisville local entertainment, and then I have other sponsors that help in turn with
Yeah,
like
which is normal business. Let's put normal
right,
business interaction. But as an organization, I
right,
think I'm with you on that. It's frowned upon. Why should I write myself a blank check?
right,
I'm,
right.
and for me, at the end of the day, the whole premise is to solve a societal problem, not
Yeah,
about my pocket. Yes, you create a business, no matter what any aspect you create a business, it's to make money. And the
yeah,
only difference is I'm doing it the righteous way.
yeah,
That's what me and Finch are doing. We're saying no, we don't want to be part of that group. Okay, if I want to make money, I could do it through portfolio or real estate, and I can have passive income that way. There's other ways to generate income, right?
yeah,
But this whole program, the point is to solve a societal problem, right? And then on top of that, not just solve the veteran crisis, which includes the homeless system, because we also have another layer of communal programs and building entire communities built by the veteran communities, right? Which fed into your program, as you said. So it goes right into it. So it's absolutely amazing, and I can only say it's an act of the divine God in a way. This level of creativity coming into it, because I don't know. It's like you said, it's been what 31 days, and my phone's melting.
yeah, yeah. Like
Is
literally, I don't even know how I found you, and I actually know I posted in a group. I forget which. I think it was the business group, the veteran business group, and you reached out to me, and we started talking in Facebook Messenger, and then I guess it was maybe the same day that me, you, and Mr. Finch got on online and chatted, and we talked about this and talked about that, and um, I think what you guys have created, it's not seen. It's never been seen in the veteran service world, and
can I record that, or you can send me a clip of that, please, brother? That is just like wow. Never seen or never have been seen before in the
right,
veteran.
yeah, and honestly, it
You're not the
hasn't
only one
because
saying that. You're not the only one saying that too. That's the
yeah,
thing. And if
I mean,
so, that's
yeah.
great. That means we're gonna solve a problem, brother. That means we're gonna solve a problem.
I believe so. And we talked offline. You and Mr. Finch have some big, great ideas of things in the direction that you kind of want to go with the Hundo Club. And which we're not going to get into details, but your vision that you guys have created in your minds and that you're going to wind up putting onto paper uh, uh, is something that falls in line with some of the things that I'm passionate about. Let's just say veteran homelessness. We talked about some of the ideals that you guys got for that, and we talked about we talked about off on that we're going to get you connected with some other organizations that are like minded when it comes to that already has a blueprint for helping veterans and veteran homelessness. And they've already got a blueprint. Why, like I said earlier, why reinvent the wheel when it's already there and they have a solid program where they're using modular construction to build these veteran villages.
Well, see, it's not just building the housing, is what we're doing. We're building the individual. We're
Yes.
investing. So the difference is here, if you have a company, you have a business, right? Which you do. and you have somebody come in and you invest your time, energy, money, education, teaching them, coaching them, apprenticeship, journeyman, masterman, what do you have?
A well-rounded person.
You have an amazing employee and somebody who's
Yeah.
willing to take over for you,
Yeah.
right? So our system is designed that way, that we cultivate the individual absolutely free, bring that veteran to that super veteran, right, status,
Yeah.
right? And now they can take charge of their life. And once they take charge of their life, they can take charge of other people's lives, and that's how they come about. So it's a self-educating system, and it'll
Yeah.
work. I can't guarantee it'll work with other organizations, but the veterans I know, active duty, I know they'll take care of each other because we do that.
Yeah.
We
That's
instantly saying, "Hey, you're not a veteran. I'm sorry, I don't want to put my money here when I can, put my money over here because there's only a finite amount of them,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like I might donate $46 a month, right? Because that's the finite amount. There's a finite amount. I have to choose my cause right.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that it's going in the right direction. Okay, so and I look at these things and I think about that too. I was like, okay, somebody's donating, right? Oh, I just got a check for $500. What are they looking at my organization that makes them want to put $500 towards it? Oh,
Right.
I'm not even selecting a check for myself. Oh, okay. I mean, how much better does that get? So
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
So I mean, everything's proof in the pudding, right? And being we're so young, some people are like, oh, they scam. It's like, no, I'm trying to change 5,000 years of history, man. It's literally a written history that we know of. So since ancient
Yeah.
Egypt.
And like we were talking on, the meet and greet that we did. Veterans dealing with PTS has gone back many generations, and even back in the day when you were, say, a Roman soldier, you got done with your service, and you just got done with some of the bloodiest battles in Roman history, and you go back home and you're with your family again. And then those dreams and those tears come in. Well, they didn't know what it was called back then. They just knew that somebody was not right, and a lot of those soldiers back then, wind up committed suicide back then as well, or they were a constant drunk. And nowadays, when PTS was first diagnosed, officially diagnosed. All right, Al, you be careful, brother. We will talk soon. When
I want to thank you for having me, picking me up. So as I was
No, you're
designing,
welcome.
listening to you anyhow. So
No, you're welcome. So tonight was just all about getting people to love you too, Al, bro. Be careful. I'll see you soon on Thursday, Al. But yeah, you know, PTS, for the longest time was not. It was like it was not. It was
right
like, oh
in World War I, it was called shell shock. In World War
yeah,
II is what was the name? Uh, I forget the exact name, but they used something else that was similar, and that eventually, like you said, it's just
yeah. And then they got
PTSD.
into like the fog of war, and then they got into then they're like, oh, it's PTS, and they came up with a name PTSD. I've dropped a D off because it's not a disorder. It's a post traumatic stress. It's not a disorder because that makes you feel like you're broken when they say, oh, it's a disorder. No, PTS can never go away. And here's the thing, like, I've been dealing with my PTS since 1998. Um, and when I do what I do, helping veterans, when I go out and volunteer, when I go out and talk to other veterans, and when I do this podcast, it helps minimize my PTS. It doesn't eliminate it, but it helps minimize it because the more I talk about it, the easier it gets, but it never goes away.
Right,
And my anxiety, my hypervigilance, and you know, my anxiety is always going to be there because my head's always on a swivel. Even when I'm at church, my head's on a swivel. I can't go and sit in church and be in the middle. I have to be on the end, and I have to be either the front or the very back. And my head's, like I said, my head's always on a swivel. My wife's like, she looks at me and she's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm just being aware of my surroundings." We go to a restaurant, I have to sit with my back up against the wall facing the door so I can see who's coming and who's going. And I always have my sidearm on me. It's either in the small of my back or it's on my side. So I always have something with me, and I always carry a knife. Always have a knife in my pocket, and you never know what you're going to get into. And but like me and James have stated numerous times, um, doing the podcast and going out and helping veterans, that helps me ease what I got going on, but it never goes away. What'd you send me?
I just dropped you I'm listening to you. The PTS doesn't go away. It's something that you have to learn to live with. So I just dropped you the Pentagon letter that said they didn't follow rules and regulations.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not lying. The words are right there.
So it says, Dear Spec Raymond Castro, this letter acknowledges receipt of your November 6, 2020 inquiry to the Department of the Army Inspector General regarding the allegations that your unit has not properly followed Army rules and regulations regarding the circumstances leading to your discharge from the Army.
I'm not joking. They need to go away to the Pentagon. So
that is crazy, bro.
Okay,
that is
so
crazy.
I fight. If I could fight that hard for me, I could fight that hard for any veteran any day.
Okay? And sometimes that's what
that says some heart, right?
Yeah, sometimes that's what the the veteran needs. I mean, sometimes you need somebody who's going to fight tooth and nails. I mean, prime example, my buddy up here that's sitting quiet right now. He's 90% right now, 90%. And here he was in Somalia.
Yeah.
He fought during Operation Gothic Serpent, the 17-hour firefight that is the movie Black Hawk Down. He's had cancer, and a lot. All of that was military related, and he's got PTS. He's got this, and there are people that are 100% right now, 100%. That sat behind a desk the whole career in the military, and they're 100%. Here you got a guy, Mr. James Thornton up here, who didn't sit behind a desk, and he's at 90% fighting to get 100%.
So all you got to do is talk to me, man.
So
that's the first thing you gotta do. You gotta send me a message, and
so
then
James, you hear that? You got to give Mr. Raymond here a message, because he might be able to help you get that extra 10%. And VA math, I will tell you, VA math sucks, because literally, they'll give you 10% for this and 20% for this, and they can give you 200%, but then they're like, oh well, you're only 70% rated. And it's like, bro,
that's the difference. That's the difference. It's how you word it. There's a lot of factors, and that's we could do a whole episode on. I love to teach.
That's like
you have to have webinars and teach veterans. It's less webinars if you push it.
So that's like, all right. So if a doctor writes up that you have PTS, all right, you get rated at say 30%. But if he just adds one word, to that, chronic PTS, then you get a higher rating.
Well, it's got to be social. It's got to be social impairment and employment impairment, economic impairment. So those are the two things. And if you use your verbiage correctly with the supporting evidence, like lay witness statements, sworn statements from yourself, active, and all this other stuff, this is literally what I teach, and this is the foundation. Because I didn't get that help. You see me twitching here, and I've been doing this for the last 5 or 4 years since I've been 5 years since I've been in the military. I've had a neurological disorder.
Yeah,
so that I can die at any time, and they didn't rate me at all. No one picked me up. So I understand.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm on automatic 100%. Nobody could figure out I'm on automatic 100%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay? So that's how bad the system is. Okay,
Mr. Elder, who just. Mr.
I'm gonna
Elder
fix your stuff, James. We're gonna link up, okay?
So Mr. Elder here, so he runs a podcast as well. It's Meal to Vets, Return to Roots. His little program that he's got there is so he don't just do podcasting. There's other things that he does as well. So I want to give him a shout out. What's up, Mr. Christopher Elder? How are you, sir? So yeah, the good thing about this podcast, man, I meet people in all walks of life, especially veterans, and I get to meet
Mm.
people like Chris. I get to meet people like you, and I get to meet people like James, which I met James before. Well, I think we were already doing the podcast, and that's how we kind of met, kind of sorta. But it's amazing with the network of veterans that I've met over the course of the well last 20 years that I've since 2003, yeah, so 2003, and then doing this podcast for the last year. So we started out doing 4 episodes a month. Now we're doing, or I'm doing, I say we, but I talk about we as my collective. I'm doing 2 podcasts a week. So I'm doing 2, 4, 6, 8. Sometimes maybe a little bit more, depending on if we do tip of the spear or whatever. And just the people that we meet along the way, the journey. And um,
Mm.
when I hang out and talk with the triple threat guys, uh, they help me understand some things that they do differently than I do, and I tell them some things that I do that they don't do. Like I do when I have a guest come on, I do my research. Like I look into them, I do a deep dive, and I find out, if they're got good reviews on their Facebook page, or if they got negative reviews, like saying that the founder just cares about himself, or they're not really saying, they say they're helping, but they're not really helping. So I go in and I do a deep dive. I'll go to Google and I type them in, and I look at everything that pops up on that organization. And it's like, okay, this person's doing this person's doing this. And that's what attracts me to people, because my mindset is I don't want to work with somebody that's not going to work with somebody else. If they don't want to share their knowledge of what's working with other organizations, then to me that's wrong, because the only way we're going to solve the problems within the veteran community is if we work together. And uh, I think people are slowly catching on.
And
They're slowly catching on that we have to work together.
I think that's why I literally love your shows, because I've never been grilled by somebody else in an organization before.
Yeah.
And you were hands down, like I shot something out. You did like an FBI. I thought you were like gave me a top secret clearance or something. This is like that kind of a level of research and development you go into an organization. I thought you hired private contractors or something.
So I'm gonna give a shout out to my
That's
aunt
fantastic
Sherry.
work. Fantastic work.
Thank you. So I'm gonna give a shout out to my aunt Sherry, my youngest, or her youngest son, AJ, is in the military right now. He's surfing overseas. I want to give a shout out to her because I know she's stressed about what he's doing and where he's at, and I don't really want to go into detail where he's at, but for OPSEC reasons. But I'm going to give a shout out to her and Sherry. I love you. I'll keep praying for AJ and the guys overseas serving with him, that they get to come home safely to their wife and kids and stuff. And I wait to hear his stories when he comes back. So, and a funny story is with him. Um, they put a post out. The base that they were staying at had no recreational gear for the soldiers and for their downtime. So they had no softball gear, no baseball gear, no basketballs, no nothing. So he put a post out, and I started putting posts out, and um, people donated all kinds of items for these soldiers that are overseas right now. And I think that's amazing, that the generosity of um, people out there that are willing to send, gear to soldiers they don't even know. To me, that's amazing that they would do that, and I'm very thankful that my cousin and his soldiers are getting to have recreational sports when they're not on duty. Because we are soldiers or Marines or airmen or sailors 24/7 while we're there. but we also have our downtime, and we like to play sports. We like to do, play on the PlayStation or Xbox. That stuff that helps us relax when we're in country. So yeah, it's amazing, and in the veteran community, like I stated earlier, the veteran community has started to realize that we need to work together, or we're not going to solve the problem. So,
This
James, Christy and Jeff says, "Nice hat, Mr. Thornton." You're muted, sir. You're muted. You're still muted. There you go.
Okay. They got me that for my birthday. Check this out. Of course, it's a Georgia hat, but just in case I forget who in the hell I am,
Got your name on it,
got my name on it. Nobody can
like you're
steal my
back in
hat.
the
As you
military.
could tell, I'm kind of like really mixed up. I got Kentucky Wildcats on. I got the Georgia Bulldogs on. Born and raised in Kentucky, but I've lived 25 and a half years in the state of Georgia.
So
So I
you've
have
been
the
off.
right to rep both.
You've been awful quiet up there. What this conversation that we've had over the last 20 minutes or so, what do you think? What do you think?
I think it's awesome. I like the story about the congressional inquiry because I almost had to do it. And although I'm at 90%, they have given me individual unemployability, so I get paid at 100. So I'm okay there. What I'm not okay with, and if I ever have the chance to get in front of someone, I'm going to let them know. The main reason I was stopped at 90 and not 100 because I didn't have my suicide ideations and attempts were not enough.
So
Now,
that's something a very powerful statement. That is a very powerful statement to say if that's something that should change in the law. And in Congress they ain't gonna change those laws very, very easy. So
right.
that's the different problem. Um,
So you mean
that's
to tell me if I would have hung myself a couple more times or succeeded, I wouldn't have got a damn thing.
you know there's the system is not flawless, but it's meant to be a checks and balance system. That's the main thing. You
Yeah.
always remember that. For example, slavery existed, right? How long ago? Not that long ago, right? I'm
Yeah.
talking
200
200
years.
years, right? So again, it's checks and balances.
Yeah.
So it's culture. It's a cultural phenomenon, and it's also laws changing. Um, how much did women have rights long ago? Not that long. I
Yeah,
think it's
right.
been 70 years, something like that. So
Well, hell,
you got to think of those.
When the United States made marijuana illegal, it was still legal. The rule of thumb: you can beat your wife with a stick that was smaller than your thumb.
Right. So you have to remember these things, and that's the thing is you identify a problem and which individuals in society, and these are difference between leaders and not leaders. So
Yep.
whenever somebody says they're a leader, and I see them say, "Oh, there's a problem there," am I like, "You trying to fix it?" They're like, "No, you ain't a leader. You're not a
Yeah.
leader to me, at least to me. If you see a problem, go fix it. If
Yeah.
you don't, if you say it's not worth it, then it's not really a big problem, right?
Yeah.
Or let's say you don't pay your mortgage, right? Is that a big problem or not? Oh, it's a big problem. Okay, are you going to fix it? No, then apparently you're not a leader. You're not somebody who's going to take care of responsibilities, right?
Yeah.
So to me, you're not a leader. So that's
Yeah.
really what defines, and that's what our principle is like, mainly developing leaders.
Yeah.
That's defining a leader. You see a problem, you go fix it. And
Well,
if you're
when
that's
I had waited for years,
not to
and
say anything about you, but like those people that you were talking about, they were like, you see these problems, right, in society, and there's so much red tape. And then, what do you think? I've made it an LLC. There's that much red tape.
Yeah, there's all
Literally,
kinds of red tape.
President Trump, when he was president, literally made a law that every law that's made has to cut out 2 laws because there's that much red tape.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I would agree. Well, fellas, it is now 8:30, and we're gonna have to wrap it up. Mr. Raymond, I'm excited that we have met, and I can't wait to have you and Mr. Finch on the show. We got you scheduled already on the books. we're going to get that up and running, and we're going to talk everything about the deep dive that I went into with your organization. And we're going to talk about the things that you and Mr. Finch have come up with and what you're planning for your organization. And I'm excited, and I want to thank you for jumping on here and just sharing a little bit about yourself and sharing, some of the things that, holy cow, they are coming in hot upstairs. Sounds like a friggin' tornado up there. But yeah, I'm excited about what you got coming up with your organization, and I can't wait to see how you're going to grow and how your vision's going to go and how you're going to help veterans.
God bless you, gentlemen. God bless you, gentlemen. You're going to be rocking with me all the way. We need a podcast guy. Anybody who's vetting me with the fine comb and nail, that's the kind of guy I want you on board.
There you go. Well, yeah, so, we will definitely talk offline on that and see what we can work out, what kind of deal we can work out, and make sure everything's good to go kosher wise. So it was a pleasure talking to you tonight. I can't wait to see you and Mr. Finch online, and we'll get together soon, my friend.
Amen.
All right, brother.
Have a good one.
James, how cool was that, bro?
That was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, especially if somebody just popped in,
Yeah, definitely.
I know he's scheduled. Scheduled, but it's just cool.
Thanks, Christopher Elder. Hey, me and you need to get together soon, and we need to do some collabing, Mr. Elder. So we got to get together soon, my friend. I know we were chatting back and forth and talking, and I know time difference wise, but me and you need to get together. But yeah, so no, he was cool, and Mr. Finch is cool too. For somebody who's been in the realm of teaching and coaching and for 50 plus years, that dude, this guy, he was super freaking sharp, bro. And I'm excited to see, where things are going with Mr. Raymond and Mr. Finch and their veteran hundo network that they're building with the professionals and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm excited to see how things are going, man. But
it's gonna be awesome. It's
anyway,
gonna be pretty
my
awesome.
wife,
it's gonna be pretty awesome.
Yes, sir. But anyway, the wife and kids just got home. So I'm gonna jump off here. They went to Sake Blue for dinner, and I don't eat Sake Blue. So I'm gonna go find me something to grub on and hang out. But I want to thank everybody, my people that commented and my people that are lurking in the shadows. I know you're out there because I can see you. But I want to thank you guys for allowing me to come into your lives every Sunday and Monday and share my vision with you guys and share the people that I'm building, like Al Hero and the Ty Cobbs and the Matt Johnsons, the James Thorntons, the Mr. Raymond, the Mr. Finch that's coming up, and all these different veteran service organizations and veterans in general. So tomorrow, I got Article 15 Comedy. They're out of Texas. They're based out of Texas. Eric knows Shiloh Harris, who's been all over the place, and who's the other guy? I don't even remember the other guy's name. I did, but I don't right now. But anywho, so Article 15 Comedy's coming on tomorrow. I got a special guest coming in for that. I think James Thornton might show up on the screen as well. I'm not for sure yet. He might.
Never know.
You never know. But the other special guest that I got coming on, just say you're in for one hell of a show. It's going to be freaking phenomenal, and I'm excited. And then I'll leave, and we're going to go see Jelly Roll in concert and Bubba Wesley. I'm super excited about that. And we're working on bringing Bubba Wesley and his band to Kentucky for a couple of events. So yeah, I tell you, we need to get working on Warrior Rounds. We need to do that. We need to get that lined out, James. Somehow we need to reach out to Courtney with Active Heroes and get that set up so we can get that up and rolling, because I think that's going to be something amazing.
I agree.
We need to reach out to Carl Truman and say, hey, this is what we got. This is what we want to do. and see what we need, how he can help us. Because Carl's amazing. I've had him on once on the show, maybe twice, and I've known him a lot longer than that. And then, like I said, if you're out there, we got a concert coming up. We also have the wall coming up. If you want to be a sponsor, corporate sponsor, or sponsor, reach out to James Thornton or myself. Reach out at homefrontsitrep@gmail.com or your email address, Mr. James.
My name,
James
Thornton,
Thornton
5555 at yahoo.com.
At yahoo.com. So you can reach out to James Thornton or myself, or you can reach us on Facebook. I'm all over the place. James is all over the place. And you can go to my page or his page and find me, or vice versa. But yeah, definitely reach out to us, because we have some amazing things coming up. Me and James, my brain never stops running. James's brain never stops running. And we are very like-minded when it comes to things that we do and the people that we want to surround ourselves with, because like we said, we're not in it for the money. We're not in it for the recognition. We're in it to help the veterans. Nothing else. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're in there to help our brothers and our sisters that are dealing with this or dealing with that. And that's what we do.
Yep.
One veteran at a time.
That's
one
right.
veteran at a time. That's all that matters. If I help one veteran today, that veteran's going to turn around and help somebody tomorrow. And like I always say, ask that next hard question. Ask the next hard question. You can go up to James Thornton and ask him right now, how you doing, James? What's your answer 99% of the time, James?
I'm okay.
I'm okay. But look him in his eyes. Look him in his eyes right there, his eyes right there. And then you ask that next hard question. James, how you really doing?
Yep.
Ask that next hard question. Because more than likely, if I go up to James and he says, how you doing? And I look in his eyes when he says, I'm okay or I'm fine, I can tell by his eyes that something's going on in that little brain of his. And that's when I'm going to ask him that next hard question. James, how are you really doing?
Absolutely.
And then more than likely he's going to open up to me, because I know the struggles that James goes through. Not all of them, but I know most of them. And I know he has his good days and he has his bad days. And hopefully better days are on the horizon for James. Because I know you did get a good diagnosis from the doctor not too long ago. I'm super excited about that. Now you can go forward and get the knee replacement that's much needed for you. So I'm super excited for you, because I know it's something that was weighing on you pretty heavily the last couple of weeks. So I'm excited about the diagnosis that you did get finally. And then I know it lifted a lot of weight off your shoulders.
It sure did.
James, I love you, brother.
Love you too,
If you need me, just call me. You got my number. Call me anytime. And if you're out there watching or listening, if you need to get a hold of me, my phone's open 24/7. Unless I'm sleeping, then I'll call you back. But most of the time I'll answer. My wife gets so mad at me because I've answered at 2:00 in the morning. She's like, well, who's that? I was like, oh, it's a veteran that needed to talk, or something of that nature. So
you got to tell him the new girlfriend. She don't know the times yet.
Yeah. It's my girlfriend from the Philippines.
That's right.
But anywho, James, man, thanks for coming on, hanging out with me, man. I think tonight was
it was pretty cool.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. So anyway, guys, ladies, gents, like I always say, stay safe out there, and I got your 6. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget, you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.